Hi everyone, my name is Sushma. I am the Learning and Development Specialist at ProXel. Welcome to another episode of the video series Adding Value and Impacting Lives, where we bring to you expert guests who can share their opinions and suggestions on how we can deal with different situations in this lockdown. While most parents try to keep up the positivity and maintain normalcy, having kids at home and continuing with the online schooling, it's also important to remember and think about those parents among us who have the added challenge of managing everything that's going around, along with having children at home with special needs without the help of a school support system. So today we have with us a special guest who has been an educator for 20 years and is currently working as a school counselor and also as a teacher at the Ramblewood Middle School in Broward County of Florida. Her name is Marci Maher. Welcome to the show, Marci. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, you're very welcome. Nice to be here.
I'm really glad that we have an opportunity to hear from someone who has hands-on experience managing and helping kids with issues and special conditions and also working with their parents. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem.
So Marci, I'd like to start with asking that what really is the biggest challenge for kids with special needs having to stay home right now?
I think one of the biggest problems is you finally get students acclimated to routines, and it's important that they know what to expect each day.
Mhm.
And with the interruption of the virus and them now being home, they have a lot of time on their hands. There's not as much structure,
Mhm.
and it's very hard to get them to get acclimated to
Mhm.
a whole new way of being on a daily basis.
Mhm. Right. Yes, definitely. So Marcy, can you please share some thoughts on, maybe like two or three types of conditions in kids which are the most challenging for parents to deal with?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, from my experience and perspective, students that have ADHD or children that have ADHD or attention problems or
Mhm.
autism, I think are probably, those families are probably facing the most challenges,
Mhm.
because I think, we all work hard as a team, and the phrase, it takes a village. Well,
Mhm.
it really does. And so it takes a team of specialists and parents to
Mhm.
get certain routines in place and certain expectations in place. And
Mhm.
so now that all of those things are taken away, it takes the parents back to another scenario where they have to be able to implement all sorts of things to manage their child, and the child may experience some regressive situations. So
Right.
I would have to say, especially children with ADHD or children with autism.
Right. Right. So definitely, without the help of skilled professionals who deal with different situations and know exactly how to handle it, with parents who are working from home and have so many other things to think about. So, what are some of the tips or activities that you would recommend parents can use to keep their kids engaged?
Well, I think the first step should be, to have that communication with the specialist at school, and to
Mhm.
keep that communication open. I also think some of the things that have been working for students are to actually FaceTime with some of the familiar people from school, or to do a Zoom, or actually see their friends, or some things that they're familiar with, so everything doesn't seem like it's changed. So I would say the first thing is communication. I'd say the second thing is to try and work out maybe like a token system, so that the kids know that if they get to a certain point, then they're going to get that reward. I think it should all be positive.
Right.
And I think sometimes token economies work best with students who need something concrete.
Mhm.
So and I also think that once you set up a certain schedule, there should be a time for a break, and
Mhm.
during that break there should be something enjoyable for the student to do,
Mhm.
and to kind of monitor what their attention span is now that they're at home in a new environment. See
Mhm.
what their sustained attention is, and then work around that.
Right. Those are some great ideas, Marcy, definitely. But how about those parents where, they're working from home and both mom and dad are engaged, and maybe if it's like a single child or
Mhm.
they're, more than one, child at home, then how do they deal with the situation when they cannot give as much attention as they'd like to?
I think this is probably a challenge that many, many, many parents are facing right now. I think what some of the parents are doing, from my understanding, is some people are able to get like volunteer educators or people that are in the field that will actually do a Zoom with the student for a period of time. There are also some of the parents are using headphones for the kids to get them set up with books on tape so
Mhm.
that they can listen. And
Okay.
then activities are oftentimes provided with those
Mhm.
books on tape. So they're listening. They're employing a lot of listening skills.
Okay.
Some of the parents are actually hiring online tutors. Um, and some of the programs, there's one called Go Noodle, where the student, it's very easy for a student to do. They go online, and then there's activities that they can actually do by themselves.
Okay.
But there still has to be some kind of interaction with an adult to
Right.
help the student maintain focus.
Right, right. So the next question I have is that, especially the online, studying and keeping up with the subjects or submitting, their work. With all of this going on, what are some things that parents have to keep in mind, just to make sure that, the development is in the right direction, and does this lockdown does not have regressive effects on the growth of the child academically?
This is also not just for children with special needs. This is very challenging for all families. I think first and foremost, we have to think about the emotional well-being of the student.
Mhm,
So we can expect some regression, but
mhm,
I think that what's most important is to not allow your child to feel stress about that,
okay,
because it's expected. And I think that the expectation has to change a bit. But I also think that if parents can try and find even a student buddy that the child can either talk to on the phone, FaceTime with, Zoom with, somebody that they have some interaction with, that
mhm,
can even play educational games with them, can
mhm,
do the work alongside them,
mhm,
then parents can actually go about their business to some degree, knowing that there's some interaction to hold the focus of those students and to help those students actually accomplish a goal.
mhm,
So I think if parents can actually set a goal, because
mhm,
we as teachers, as educators, we have to upload activities. So if the parent can actually get a buddy online, like a peer buddy, or even on the phone, to
mhm,
guide the student, it will take up a sustained amount of attention for the
mhm.
student to complete the goal.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So, and in doing that alongside someone else, or even listening to someone else, I
Mhm.
think that helps with sustained attention, which is the biggest issue here. It's the attention. It's the focus for
Right.
most of the students with special needs.
Right, right. And I think, like you said, not just kids with special needs, but kids in general are finding it
Hmm.
very challenging. And there are so many parents reaching out for help and asking
Hmm.
questions about, how to deal with it because of the disruption of the routine. It kind of totally puts the kids, out of track, and they don't know what to do with their energy, and they don't know what to do with their
Hmm.
time. And
Well,
it's,
and there are also a few other things that I discovered. The Lego Corporation has a Lego challenge, and a lot of different companies are doing things where they you pull it up online. It's kind of like a YouTube type thing. And one of them that held my interest was Legos. And so a lot of the students are very tactile. It holds their attention when they have something kinesthetic to do. So the Lego challenge incorporates like the visual and the fine motor skills and following directions. And so some of these challenges can Yikes.
That's
Some
a
of these challenges that the students face if they have some kind of kinesthetic activity to do, to accomplish a goal and hold their attention, they are still learning, and they're still employing learning to self-monitor and learning to stay on a task, which in turn will help with the academics.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
You know what I
That, that,
mean?
that's great to know. I mean, it's really nice of these organizations, to come up with different things like this. And I've also heard of a lot of free resources that are available, that have been made available, especially now due to this lockdown situation, where kids can make the most of it, and parents
Mhm.
just need to like find the right resources and explore them. And it should greatly help, manage the situation. But yeah.
One of the other things, sorry to interject, one of
Mhm.
the other things is at school, a lot of times the kids are on like what we call a daily.
Okay.
So they would have set goals that they have to meet in each class. But
Okay.
being that they're not in each class and now they're at home,
Mhm.
the parents still, with the help of the school or the counselor or the ESC specialist,
Mhm.
can still use those and still use the token economy to get the student to accomplish a goal. So
Okay.
even though, like, say it's a language arts goal and they have to complete a paragraph,
Okay.
um, parent could say, okay, we're going to spend X amount of time for you to accomplish this goal. Once you do that, then you can go into your Lego website, and then work on your project. So that there's little chunks of time and
Mhm.
little chunks of interaction, academic and then pleasurable.
Right, right. That they don't get overly stressed, but still they're
Hmm.
engaged. And, at the end of the day, they feel like, they've done play and they've done work as well.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So thank you, Marcy. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for those expert insights, I would say. And I think the work that you do with students, listening to the kind of support and the details, it just sounds like such a noble thing to do. And being able to,
Thank you.
and I can only imagine how satisfying it is at the end of the day to be able to do such wonderful work. So
It is.
thank you
It's
so
very
much.
gratifying.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for joining us and sharing your expert advice. So, to all the parents out there, I'd like to say that it's a difficult time for everyone. So, please hang in there. You're doing a great job. You are the strength for your child, and we're all doing good. We will do good, and we will come out of this. All we need to do is just not give up. So, thanks again, Marcy. Any last comments before we close?
I would just say for everybody to just try to really stay positive, because um, everything that we're doing is guiding the students in the right direction for when we resume life as we knew it. So
Right, right, absolutely. So, all viewers, thank you so much. And thank you, Marcy. Stay home, stay safe, and stay positive. Take care. Until next time. Bye bye.